Okay guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to Blue Point TV, where we talk about football and football related stories. Guys, let's talk about the 4-2 loss to Manchester City. As you know, Chelsea played against Manchester City in the preseason and they lost 4-2 to Manchester City. Now for me, if you watch the game, it is clear that this team, the Chelsea team, need more work. They need to understand the system, they need to try to understand what the coach wants them to do. It is clear that they played against a team that have a better coach, clearly, and also a team that the coach, the manager have been there for long. The system is there for them already. Manchester City, when you see them play, you understand that they have a clear system that they understand. And obviously, many of the players that started the game for Manchester City are from the academy. It's not even their main starters. Obviously, they have some first-team players, but many of them that started the game are not their first-team players. Whereas for Chelsea, many of them that started the game are the first-team players for Chelsea. Obviously, not all of them that started the game will be starting games for Chelsea when the season properly starts, but I feel like many of the Chelsea players, I can mention like 5 or 6 players that could be starting games for Chelsea, like the goalkeeper Sanchez could be the number 1 for Chelsea. There's James, obviously as the captain, he was expecting to be starting games. Romeo Lavia, I think he'll be starting games for Chelsea. Christopher Nkunku should be starting games, for Chelsea. Caicedo, I expect him as well. He might be starting games for Chelsea. Dewsbury Hall, the midfielder at Chelsea, signed from Leicester City, could be starting games. So about 5 or 6 regular starters that I think that could be starting games are in this game. But for Manchester City, how many of them that will be starting games for them? How many of them? So it is clear that they played against a team that have understand themselves better than this Chelsea team that haven't really understood themselves, because it's a new coach, a new system, And funny enough, this game that City won, I think this is their first win in preseason. I don't think they've won any game. If I'm maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think they played against Celtic. They lost that game, I think, against Celtic. They played against Barcelona. They drew that game 2-2. Obviously, they lost the game in penalty, but in full 90 minutes, they drew that game. They did not win the game against Barcelona. They lost against AC Milan. They lost. But then they played against Chelsea and then they won. So that's to tell you that this Chelsea team still need more work. They are not, for me, they are not 100% fit, I think. The system is not there yet for the players to understand exactly what the coach wants them to do, where they are supposed to be at the right time. Some of the players haven't really understood how the manager wants them to play. And then another thing I think this team have to work on is their finishing. Their finishing, that's another thing I feel like they have to work on. Even the game they played against Club America, I feel like it was supposed to be like 5 or 6 or even 7. They were supposed to score like 5 or 6 or even 7 in the game against Club America. They were missing their chances in that game. This game against Manchester City, they also missed chances. Now, I'm not saying they missed a lot of chances against Manchester City, but they were supposed to score more than these 2 goals that they scored. That's to tell you, this team, they still need a lot of work to be done in this team. They have to work on themselves more in terms of being clinical, in terms of understanding what the manager wants them to do. And yeah, for me, I feel like the Chelsea fans will possibly suffer when the season starts. I feel like they will possibly suffer when the season starts because of how the manager wants them to play. And the way they concede those 2 goals, the first 2 goals that they concede, it was a clear mistake. Even for me, the 4 goals that Chelsea conceded, I feel like it's clearly a mistake from the players. But especially those 2 goals that they conceded, that is, close to the 18-yard box. Clearly mistake from the players. Where they are trying to build from the back, they're trying to play from the back. Tosin cost the first goal. The penalty, it was clearly Tosin's fault for me. And then the second goal that he conceded was Maresca. The same thing, building from the back, playing from the back. And like I said, it's a new system, so we expect this kind of things to happen. So if it will happen, it's better it's happening now in pre-season, not when the season starts in the league. Not when the season starts in the league. So I feel like they should work on themselves now, so that when the season starts, we expect them to understand exactly what or how the manager wants them to play. So it's really a disappointing performance for me. I feel like they did not play well. They did not deserve anything from the game. They did not deserve anything from the game because, like I said before, many of the players that started this game against City, we expect them to be regular starters for Chelsea. Whereas for Manchester City, many of them that started the game will not even start games for them when the season starts properly. So the performance in this game against Manchester City was really a poor performance. But like I said, it's pre-season. So pre-season, you are expected to, make mistakes and then correct the mistake. That's why it's pre-season. Where you build your fitness and also try to understand yourself, as a team. They just have to be clinical. That's another thing that they have to work on. Be clinical, because in this game against Manchester City, they also missed some chances in this game, against Manchester City. So yeah, that's it for me on this one. Your thought and your opinion on the game. What are the things that you think they have to work on playing like this? Because as you know, it's a new coach and a new system, and this coach looks like someone that will always believe on what he wants to do. He will not change how he wants to play. So your thought and your opinion on the game, you let me know. And also please guys, if you're watching the video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel Bluepoint TV, like the video as well. And also we're also on Facebook, follow the channel Bluepoint TV, share the video. Thank you guys, stay safe while I see you again. Bye.